What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to the Rambling Men Sports Podcast. As always, it is Shane here, and we got my good buddy Chaz again. We're not going to be talking. Well, first of all, Chaz, thank you for coming on, and how are you doing today?
I'm good, man. Just got home from work and been trying to get this thing going with me and you for the past 30 minutes. So we finally got it going so we can talk some Westworld.
Yep. So Chaz gave it away. We will be talking about Westworld. The season finale was on Sunday. Crazy season 2, one of our favorite shows, and I like to have Chaz on for these kind of things because Chaz is a huge TV show buff. You probably watch more TV shows than I do. You watch new things all the time. I just rewatch sitcoms until a new season comes along.
You got me in the TV shows though. Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah, I got you in the Game of Thrones. You actually, I won't fully credit you, but you were one of the people who convinced me to watch Westworld. So we finally got to watch the season finale and finally got to the season finale, I should say. First off, I want to talk about what did you think of this season? Because we both have a lot of thoughts on this season.
First off, I tell you what I think. If you don't follow Shane or his Rambling Man or Men's podcast, you got to go watch his reaction on his Twitter account. I think his Price is Right 53.
That's my usual one, but I do it on the Rambling Men one.
Yeah, but his response to 10 was unbelievable. But anyway,
so real quick, I hate to interrupt you. I will talk about that while we're on the subject. So I release these videos I've released these videos every week since the season premiere, and it's basically my reaction to the episode. And each one's kind of the same. I'll say, oh, hey, this was a great episode. This is what happened. Or this is a bullshit episode. This is why I think so. And so the finale rolls around, and I'm getting a lot more than, I shouldn't say a lot, but more activity on this than usual. Someone responded to it and just quoted all my questions. I don't know what's going on. Does anyone know what's going on? I really don't know what's going on. Can someone tell me what's going on? And so it kind of got traction a little bit. But yeah, that was kind of my reaction to the finale. I don't know about you.
Dude, but so you asked me what I thought of the season or the finale.
Let's go with the season first.
The season first, okay. So, with me, kind of with like Game of Thrones, like if something's kind of a little twister, there's a lot of things going on at once. It takes me a long time to get the gist. Like with the Game of Thrones, it took me probably 5 seasons to get everybody's names down where they were. Yeah. Well, with Westworld, what got me off track at first was how they started with the very ending. How some movies will start with the ending.
They Tarantino'd it.
Yeah. They started with the ending, and then they would do flashbacks like throughout the episode and then go back to the present. So,
which I just think that's a bad idea for a TV show. There's so much. TV shows take more, I shouldn't say more time, but the length is longer. You're talking about 10 1-hour episodes as opposed to a 2-hour movie.
Exactly, dude. So like with me, that completely just threw me off right there. Like starting at the ending or at the present, and then going to like flashbacks and stuff. So I couldn't tell at one time what was actually like. So if whatever activity the man in black was doing, if that was in the present time as what was going on with Bernard or what was going on with Teddy.
Most of it was pretty good. The one that was impossible to follow was Bernard. Because if it's a flashback with Dolores, you can tell because she's wearing the blue dress.
Yeah, that is true.
If it's the man in black, more than likely it's either Jimmy Simpson playing him as the very young version,
or Ed Harris,
or his daughter's there who hasn't been introduced until this season, or his dead wife is there. Yeah. By the way, we should mention that there will be spoilers in this.
Yeah,
I forgot to mention that. But yeah, so most of all, it's been easy to follow. The one that's impossible, I thought, to follow was Bernard, because he always wears the exact same thing.
Yeah, and it was like I felt like I knew kind of what was going on, like leading up until the finale. Like I liked the episodes, like pretty much all the episodes. I love that they bring Anthony Hopkins back. You can't go wrong with that. I feel like he steals every single episode he's in, even though Ed Harris is my favorite character in the whole show. But it was a little tough for me at first, but then I felt like I was looking at certain things and seeing other people's blogs. I felt like I was getting what was going on, but once the season finale happened, I just felt like in other words, knew nothing.
Yeah. The entire season, I really didn't know what was going on. Like you, I thought I had a general idea, but I
Yeah,
was hoping that they would all be brought together in the finale, and it would make sense, kind of what happened in season 1.
yeah,
It all kind of came together, and for me, it did not do that at all. You FaceTime me after the episode. You were asking me a whole bunch of questions, and I'm like, dude, this isn't Game of Thrones. You always come
yeah.
to me with questions about Game of Thrones, and I answer them because I understand the story. I've read the books. I know it backwards and forwards. But this, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, and when when I knew that you had like once I saw your response, and it was really funny because, like I said, you pretty much all the shows that you watch, you pretty much you can cipher, or break down, or at least give a theory that makes sense of what happened. You just didn't even know where to go, and I was asking you like, bruh, I don't know what's going on.
I had to tell you that about 3 or 4 times. I'm like, dude, you're asking the wrong guy. The only person
Yeah.
we need to ask are the showrunners because they're the only ones that'll get it.
And I saw a blog when one of the ending on the finale explained, and pretty much they were just theorizing or saying what they think. They're like, pretty much, we need the woman and the man to co-write it or whatever to come out and actually literally say like what's going on for everybody to literally actually know what's going
I
on.
don't know about you. My friend mentioned this to me a few weeks ago, and I think he's somewhat right. He said how he felt like this season was similar to like season 2 of True Detective, where the first season was phenomenal, and then they come in for a second season, and it felt like they just tried too hard with it. It just wasn't that good, and which
Yep.
doesn't make sense because they took a year off for it.
That's what my friend said. One of my other friends that watches the show, he told me the same exact thing. He actually called me after I got done talking to you, or no, he called me the next day because I got him watching Westworld too, and he was like, dude, he was mad. He was like, this show's that finale was trash. He was like, I don't even know if I can even watch this show anymore. He's like, I literally don't even know what's going on, or like
I
he's
don't
like, they
either.
tried too hard this
I think so
season.
too, honestly. I think they looked at season 1. First of all, I think they revealed too much in season 1. Usually, you don't have that many twists in a show in one season, and I feel like they kind of had their backs against the wall and were like, "Oh, well, we got to do a whole lot better the second season, the third season, whatever." And that's probably why they took a year off. Who knows? And then they tried this season, and they're falling in love, in my opinion, too much with these alternate timelines. And I
Yeah,
understand you want to throw people off. It was a great idea for the first season, William being the Man in Black. No one really saw that coming. But
yeah,
with this, I'm like, wait, especially like I said with Bernard, you're starting in the future, then you go to the past, then you're to the present, and you go back to the past, you go to the future, you go to the present, you go back to the future, then you go to the present, then you go to these alternate dimensions, the cradle, the forge. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Can we just have a linear story?
and on top of if you're going like you said, past, present, and future with different point of views too. So from Dolores' point of view,
And I think that they need to do something with Bernard to where we know, okay, this is a flashback. Take his glasses off so we know it's a flashback. Like I said, it's easy with Dolores. She'll likely be wearing the blue dress. The Man in Black will likely be Jimmy Simpson, the younger version, or we'll see his wife and daughter with Ed Harris. That's easy, but with Bernard, he's an android. He never ages. He looks the exact same. So I don't know. It's just incredibly hard to follow.
I think, like you said, how they revealed a lot of stuff in season 1. Like you said, season 1 could have basically been like Ed Harris was the man in black, or William was. Season 2 could have been the door, or getting to the door, and then 3 you could have mentioned about them programming newcomers, or programming how newcomers think so they can make them. You know what I mean? That could have been a season 3 thing, but how they're going, like somebody was asking me how many seasons. I was like, man,
I heard someone say no more than 5. Yeah.
5, yeah. And I was thinking, I think I said like no more than maybe like 2 more, man.
I told you, we went out to eat one time when I was in Morgantown. You asked me, and I thought 3 or 4. This just doesn't seem like a show that's going to be around 8 to 10 years.
Yeah, because they're like you said, it's like they're going 100 miles an hour. Like my friend was even asking me yesterday, like, we're gonna get on this subject, but he's like, where do you even go from this? I'm like, you're asking the wrong person.
Well, so we're I like that you're mentioning this. We're kind of getting into more topics, but one more thing I want to mention about this season. I don't understand the episode that revolved around the Native American. Was it necessary that we got his entire backstory? Everyone loved that episode. Everyone loves this character. I know nothing about this character. I don't really care about this character. But, I mean, I was bored halfway through the episode. I about fell asleep.
For some reason, I don't know if I'm wrong. This, like I said, I'm just throwing a curveball here. Was it like he was playing Maeve in like another world almost?
No, it was something like he is basically, so there's kind of these special hosts, I should say. Dolores is obviously one of them. Maeve is one of them, and I think he's kind of a third one. He can communicate with other hosts like Maeve without giving a voice command. Like he was doing it kind of.
Well, he wasn't Maeve,
through the daughter as a medium to connect with Maeve during that episode.
Well, like you said, what was the point in that?
I guess they could, to show he's special, give him his backstory, show how we got special. But again, I'm like, do we really need an entire episode devoted to this? Hey, it could have been about 20-minute thing.
I didn't even think about that because you're right. Because the first time you see him, if you think about it, I think was on season 1. I think whenever Maeve has the flashbacks of her.
And that's another thing. It shows that he's he's protecting her.
Yeah, and you thought he was in there to get her.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And he's always the first Native American you see, part of the Ghost Nation. But again, I'm like, were people pounding the table wanting a backstory for this character? I didn't even know his name until that episode.
I never even thought of that. Like, what was even the point of that? Now that I think about that.
But so that's kind of just my big thing. But we're gonna start breaking down the season even more. So season 1 ends with Dolores shooting Anthony Hopkins, and to give even more of a backstory into that, Anthony Hopkins, the designer of the park, built this park to where the hosts can't attack the humans. They can't harm them. But at the very end, when he's being forced into retirement, this is his kind of shoving it up their butt, giving the middle finger, and makes it to where the host, he rewrites their code, creates a new narrative to where now the host can harm the humans, and then season 2 is where it picks up after that. And it's all about, like Chaz has mentioned, the Valley Beyond. I forgot where I was going with that. So the biggest thing with this season was probably the
door.
No, I was gonna say the continuous theme of not reincarnation but resurrection.
Yeah,
and that happens with. It starts in the 4th episode, I believe, the Riddle of the Sphinx, when you find out that they built this. The Forge, I guess is what you say. That's where the Valley Beyond is located, and everyone's trying to get there. And we find out that not only are they using it to bring back James Delos at one point, the founder or the owner of the park, but they are using this machine to what did you say? Record or all the hosts, all the newcomers? Program. Yes. Because apparently humans are all algorithms.
And when do we find that out that they're trying to program the host?
That was like the 9th or 10th episode.
What?
That was like the 9th or 10th episode. It was toward the end.
Something I was wanting to ask you, I think I was talking to my friend. I got this completely mixed up. Was James Delos, his son, the dark-haired guy?
Logan, yeah.
Was he the one that they saw in the Valley Beyond? Is he the one that controlled?
He was the one. I mentioned this to you. He was the one. He's again. This is where it gets so confusing. He's in the Forge, and he's basically the caretaker of it. Yeah, but that's his host version of him. You know what I'm saying? What they did with James.
what's the point of the Valley Beyond? As I was talking to my friend about that, like,
Apparently, that's like the heaven for the hosts.
then what's the difference between the Valley Beyond and the door?
It's the same thing. The door led
Why
to the Valley Beyond.
So you're talking about where, spoiler, like Teddy and them are?
Yeah, that's the Valley Beyond.
Why did it look completely different from where, like, it was like they were at a party almost.
Going by what I read today, it's basically like the cloud for your phone. Their memories and their thoughts, their consciousness go up in the cloud, but physically they're still in still in the park. They're still, physically on Earth. I mean, I don't know.
So you're saying the door that was open where they went into that area, that is the same place as where James Delos' son was whenever Bernard and them were talking to him.
I don't remember if he was ever there. It's not that. Della, I have that wrong. Logan is in charge of the Forge.
So what is that? What is the point in that?
The Forge is where all the newcomers' data is, and he's there kind of caretaking it. His host is.
Okay. So that's where the newcomers' data is. Okay.
Yeah, and when they went there, he was there to greet them. So he's kind of in that limbo. His host is. It's so confusing.
Okay. I know, because I wanted to ask you that because my friend was trying to explain to me that last night, and I'm like, what? Like, I don't even understand like what the point of that place is. But now I get it, where you said he kind of, his robot version or whatever oversees the newcomers' data, their program.
Yeah, he kind of overlooks it, I guess, and not necessarily protects it. He's just kind of there to guide anyone that visits, I guess.
And the only way to access that is that room they were in where they kind of got in that thing and that thing was around their head?
I believe so.
And that was destroyed or not destroyed?
I don't think it was. Because, I mean, we still have so much left to talk about. I don't think it was.
Go ahead, you can go on. But yeah, I just want to clarify that.
I
get it now. Yeah. I get what the purpose. I want to know what the purpose of it was, but I got it.
I think Dolores tried to destroy it, or
she punched the thing.
I'm trying to. I can't even remember. Says Bernard kills Dolores to prevent her from destroying the Forge and flees with Elsie back to the Mesa. Okay, so Dolores tried to destroy it. Bernard stopped her. So that's how that ended. I couldn't remember.
So technically, that somebody can still get to the Forge if they want to or know how to. Okay,
yep.
Gotcha.
Yep. So one of the bigger storylines this season is, like I said, the ability now to apparently bring people back from the dead, and that's what happens with Anthony Hopkins a little bit. Not necessarily back from the dead, but his host was kind of in this alternate dimension, Westworld, in the cradle. Any thoughts on that? That really threw me off.
Yeah. Like, for people that don't understand what you're saying, it was kind of, he can only be seen by, like you said, certain, like Maeve and Bernard were the only two people. It was like he was in their conscience almost, or their mind, but he was there in the physical.
His file, if you remember, his file is in their brains. And that's what Bernard did because he was tired of dealing with him, so he deleted the file.
And something that was really crazy is how he mentioned, so after he got in that car, once he dropped, what's her name off?
Elsie,
I think, yeah. Well, he actually literally deleted Ford then, and then for everything else that he did when he was talking to him, he imagined what Ford would tell him. Ford wasn't actually there, right?
No. No. At first he was, but not after he deleted them.
Yeah, after that he was there, but he was imagining Ford there telling him what to do, right?
Yeah. And do you have any theories? Do you think Ford comes back next season?
Man, how he walked away at the...
I'm going to say no. I mean, Bernard came to the conclusion he's got to let him go.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I love seeing Anthony. I think he does such a great job. But I would say probably, like you said, he's walking away in the sunset, too, at the end. So it's like you say, he's got to let him go. I'd say, if I'm a betting man, if he comes back, it probably won't be to the very last season of what's going on, or maybe later down the road. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then one more. I mean, we can keep talking about the resurrection all we want, but another key point in the finale was when Charlotte Hale kills Elsie because she knows too much. Bernard sees this and then gets a Charlotte Hale host and implants Dolores in her mind. So now we have a Charlotte Hale with Dolores mind.
Yeah. Charlotte Hale's played by Tessa Thompson.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. Dude, that
threw me off. I was like, I saw the host and I was like, oh, okay, so we're back to another host of her. And then it said, like, Dolores. I was like, oh, shit, that's Dolores?
Yeah. And that was one that just caught me completely off guard. That was really weird because you see, like you said, Charlotte girl, or the Charlotte Hale girl, she's like smoking or whatever, and she's like walking in the dark. She sees like a naked woman figure coming, and it's her robot figure, and she just shoots her right there.
I didn't know. I was trying to figure out who it was. I was like, is it Dolores? Which ended up being, but in Charlotte Hale's body. So now we have the person who wants to completely destroy the park and end humanity is in the body of one of the biggest board members for the park.
Yes, and ends up getting out.
So yeah, that's big. She's out.
Her and Bernard are the two.
Well, there's more. Remember, she had 5 of those little.
She had the things in her purse.
Yeah, she had 5 of them. One of them is definitely Bernard. I think one of them is her. I don't know how she got her own, but she clearly did because she created herself.
Yeah. And dude, something that has been
so
itching
that leaves
at me.
3. I'm gonna assume 1. Maybe not Maeve. 1 is probably her father.
Dude, Maeve's got to come back.
Oh no, she will. I think next season it's going to be the park is back to normal.
That's what I was.
But her and Bernard are battling from like the higher ups with the board members and all that stuff. Kind of from the inside, not in the park, but in the regular world.
Yeah.
But yeah, she had 5 of those little balls with her. I don't even know how to call them. I'm gonna assume 1 is her father, and then that leaves 2 more.
If people have watched the show, it's that gray ball that they pick out of that one room or whatever that they're there that gets like
it's
a gray
in their skull. It's kind of their consciousness.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And so that leaves 2. I heard someone theorize it's Teddy. I'm not sure how Teddy, because she did take his little thing after he killed himself, but. Number 1, I'm not sure how they can get it because he's in the Valley Beyond. They said there's no more there's no more connection between the real world and the Valley Beyond. That door is closed.
See, I was going to run that by you. I thought that they said that, but then I thought that they said that one person can access that. I can't remember who opened it or who got it open. Who opened it?
Wasn't it Bernard? Them when they were in the forge?
It might. See, I don't even remember.
I'm pretty sure they opened it down there.
Yeah.
But I heard someone say today that once it's closed, it can't be reopened.
Yeah, I heard that too. But then I thought I heard something that said that the person who opened it, or whether there's a way to access it. But I've heard what you said too. We'll just go with there's no way to get access to it. So you're potentially looking at. I feel like somehow Teddy will come back, but maybe he might. See,
I don't know. He's definitely one of the main characters, so it'd be odd if he didn't. But I think when you think about this season, he got sick. Dolores changed him. He got sick of Dolores.
He finally got to make his own choice.
He finally got to make his own choice. He's in the Valley Beyond. He's basically in their heaven.
Yeah.
I'm not sure he comes back. I really don't. I'm just not sure he's going to be able to put up with Dolores anymore.
That's what I was watching when they were talking about a little bit of the breakdown. That's what they were saying is they think that as much as people like to see Teddy back and but it kind of fits well because in the end, Teddy was always drawn to Dolores and did what she wanted and did whatever. It was his purpose in being the park was to attend to Dolores and always find his way to her. So he finally, after she changed him and made him into somebody that he never was, he realizes it, and then he makes his own choice to, if he doesn't want to be like that, to end his own life. So he got his way in the end. You know what I mean? Yep. She didn't. Even though it was the woman that he loved, he made the decision that was best.
I agree. I hope Teddy comes back if they can bring him back. I like the character. Yeah. He just needs to find a new girlfriend, even though I do like Dolores.
Oh, I love Dolores.
But yeah. I'm trying to think of any other theories. Obviously, we got the big one with the Man in Black. Let's go ahead and get to that.
That's the one that I'm torn between the most. Dude.
Let's go ahead and get that one back because I got a big theory for you.
All right, go ahead.
All right, so at the very end of this episode, I remember texting you and being and being like, "Holy shit, there's a post-credit scene." And I watch it, and so it's all about the Man in Black. William enters this after he's coming down the elevator, which that was the last point we saw him before he was on the beach. He comes down this elevator, and he enters this kind of deserted building, and his daughter's host is there to greet him and walks him into that circular room, like we saw with James Delos, with the fidelity tests to test if he's the same Delos as before with this consciousness and in this body, and the roles are reversed. Emily sits in William's spot, and he sits in Delos' spot.
Delos' spot, yeah.
And then he asks what they're testing for. She says fidelity. So that implies that he is a host with William's consciousness and that he's dead.
But he knew what they were doing, though.
Well, hang on. I got a theory. Someone posted today. I even have it right here somewhere. Maybe not. I had it somewhere, but I think the showrunners came out and said that scene is set in the far future. So it's the same thing. They're testing William, like William is dead, and they're bringing him back as a host, and they're testing his fidelity, and the way that they do that is to go back in time to this moment where the park is chaos, the hosts are running wild, and he's got to make the different decisions throughout. Because remember, he made a lot of bad decisions this season. He killed the young host of Robert Ford. He killed Lawrence. He killed
his daughter.
He killed his daughter. He tried to blow up the forge. He tried to kill Dolores. So that's kind of what they're doing, is they're sending him back to this moment and seeing what decisions he'll make this time around. And then he's done, this is another trial period, and he's done. I know this is a lot to process. He's done, and his daughter is basically saying, let's see how you did.
I'll tell you what I heard. I heard that, like you said, he's a robot technically, or they have other programs of him. And what these people that break down the episode said that the actual William either died at the end of season 1.
I saw that
because he's been shot and beat up so many times. How in the world is he still alive?
I wondered the same thing too.
And that that you've seen different versions or different programs of William throughout. And they also, I saw another one. They said that could have been a program of William, but the actual real William is still out there somehow. I don't know how that would be.
I think we're closer to my theory that last scene was set in the far future. What we saw this season was still William. He's still a human, but he's losing his mind a little bit. He's losing track of his reality. And I think that's setting up for him to, I don't know, try to kill himself to see if he is a host.
See, the thing is one thing, I can deal with a lot of stuff, but one thing I do not want to see is William be a host.
Yeah.
I think, because the people that were breaking down it said it perfectly. This guy has caused so much harm to his wife, to to the park, he's corrupted the park, or there's like something inside of him that he like fell in love with the park. He loves harming people, and to take that away from him human in a human cognizant way of thinking, for him not to end up at the end of the show realizing what he actually done and coming to fruition with it. I guess you could say it still happens, but it'd be him as a host, even though it's his mind in the host's body. I guess he could still, in words, end up feeling it. But to take that away from him possibly end up coming to fruition of what all he has actually done in the real world and how he's poisoned Westworld, I think that's kind of messed up to do that. And they should give him the decency, or give that character the actual honor of actually letting him in the end realizing what he's done. You know what I mean? But
yeah, I saw someone else say that was they don't want William to be a host because they want him to face the repercussions of his actions eventually.
Yeah,
and I would like that because even though I love him, the character, he is a bad guy.
Oh, he's my favorite character, but yeah, he's a bad dude. Yeah, I guess technically wouldn't he still be able to realize, since his human program is in, or the way his human self thought or acted is technically in the robot, so I guess he would still understand.
He's still there. It's just the whole point of the fidelity test is to line up if this is the same William that we had before.
Yeah. So you think that? So your theory is saying that people said that which we saw at the post credits was way far off, but the real William in that present in that second season is actually still alive.
Yes, because we saw him on the beach.
So, yeah, that's another thing too. I mean, I guess the post credits kind of made up for it, but you saw him going down the elevator, and then you see him in the freaking.
Well, remember, when they entered the door, he got shot by Dolores, I believe.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
He tried to shoot Dolores, and it backfired.
Yeah.
And then he was hurt for a while. I think what we were looking at was a different timeline. I think the original timeline, they found him there and took him to that beach. And he's still recovering from his injuries. The alternate timeline was him, if he was a host, waking up from that because he wouldn't be that hurt. You know, he'd still be alive. He would be able to live from that. And he goes down to the basement, and the forge is gone, or whatever else, what it is gone. But the fidelity test is there waiting on him. And they're going to test if he made the same decisions, over and over again.
So you're saying that the first one was actually the real William?
I think, yes, that was the real William, I believe.
And you believe at this point in time that the real William is still alive?
Yes. I think he's still alive and recuperating from all the wounds he suffered this season because he got shot a lot. And I think season 3 is going to be about him, I don't know, losing his reality, because we've got a taste of that these last few seasons.
Yeah, he don't even know what's real and what's not real.
Yeah, he doesn't know what's real and not real, and I think he's probably, like his wife, is going to kill himself because maybe he thinks he's a host and thinks he'll survive it, and he's tired of feeling this way.
Or like you said, he could end up killing himself while he's not a host. But then
that's what I'm saying. He won't be a host, and maybe he'll kill himself as a mistake, and then they'll try to, like I said, bring him back as a host.
I wouldn't have a problem with that.
Yeah, but that's just a theory.
Yeah, him and I don't know. I just don't like him. Like at the end, if they do it, but I'd still watch it, and he'd still probably be my favorite character. But I just feel like they should keep, because like him realizing like what he did to his daughter. Like I feel like that's a human thing that they should make that character realize. You know what I mean? But,
I think he will. I think he will. I think like that could be another thing. Once he, maybe they send him off to a mental hospital or something, and they sane him a little bit. They fix him up, and then he realizes what he did and the harm he's brought to people of Westworld, his wife, his daughter, and then maybe he kills himself. Like he debated doing after he actually did shoot his daughter.
Shoot, I was honestly thinking that he might do it. Yeah,
I thought he would too.
I was thinking, did you ever think during this season that he was a robot?
There's been rumors. because if you remember when he first thought about his wife committing suicide, there's a different uh, it's a different memory than what actually happened. It's a different bathtub. It's different water. Have you not seen this on Twitter? They've shown it like side to side. It's
No.
a different bathtub. It's a different angle. It's like different water coming out. And then on the right, it's like I said, a different What actually happened was a different bathtub. I think the one on the left was, in like the wrong memory, I should say. Like the tub is red, and then in the right one, the tub is kind of tannish, kind of gold. You'll have to look it up. I'll send it. I'll find it and send it to you. But
yeah, I'll have to peep that. That's the biggest things I was wondering was, which I clarified with you, is the valid beyond what the point in that was, and the William thing was the one thing because like you said, in the end, at the beginning, I never thought of him being a host, or at the first season, or towards like the middle of this, like episode 9 and 10 is what really got me thinking, like, yo, is this dude a robot? You know what I mean? Or is, like, I don't know, I was all over the place. Is this already happened or whatever? But
another theory I have, but I'm not sure it's going to happen, is maybe he actually is human, and the park starting to think he's a host, and like maybe they test him, and since he's lost track of his reality, he fails it, and they consider him a host or something. I don't think that'll happen, because how do you get from there to the beach?
Yeah, that would be whacked out though. If like he just failed the test because he's just so out of it, and then they think he's a host, dude, that would be whacked out. But on something just before you go to whatever next, or if you're in or whatever, I did see something about Ed Harris where he said he had no idea what was even going on.
Oh, really? So I don't know if that's him. Own cast members are coming out saying they don't know what's going on with the show.
He said that. I mean, he could be lying about it, but he said in an interview, he said, and to be honest, I read the quote. He's like, to be honest, I don't even know what's going on. So I don't know. That could be just saying that just to say it, but.
I mean, you got my reaction the other night. I was so lost. I think I have, like I said, I did some research today, looked up some videos. I think I have a better grasp on it now, but I still don't really understand the whole point of this season. I really don't.
What I was trying to talk to my friend about is, what are the things you actually can say that you actually know that are clarified? We know that Dolores created Bernard.
Yep, that was revealed.
That's one thing we definitely do know.
Mm-hmm.
We definitely do know that.
We
Dolores,
know the William's wife killed herself because after she saw what he's done in the park.
I'm going to say, what all can you actually say that you really know 100% that
I mean, there's a lot. They explored the idea of resurrection, and I want to say I remember this, but in one of the episodes, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to find it here. Yeah. So it was when the James Delos flashbacks, when they're giving him the fidelity tests. It says here, however, the experiment repeatedly failed and William shut it down. Bernard recalls that Ford had him retrieve the control unit of a second host human hybrid, but cannot recall for whom it was intended. I think we're looking at William. Because that is one thing I felt like with Ford is he has felt like William loves this part too much and has always kind of warned him, like, if you're here too long, you're going to ruin yourself. And I feel like this is his punishment now to William for the rest of his life, is he's got to live in the park as a host, being the same bad guy over and over and over.
That could be true. That could be true, because like you said, yeah, he did. And obviously whenever he shot the boy version of Ford.
And again, that was another warning.
Yeah, he told him it was his game and this was all for him or whatever. And something else I wanted to ask you, which I think I know the answer. William actually shot his real daughter, right?
Yep.
That was actually her?
I'm gonna assume, yeah.
So you don't really know, do you?
No, I'm gonna assume so. One guy pointed it out and said, "Well, what if this daughter at the end of the episode is the real daughter?" And I was like, "No," and he said no too because
I didn't
one,
think about that. But
the daughter that he was traveling with called him dad, was a little bit more like sympathetic and more human. The daughter at the end was way more robotic. She called him William, way more formal. I feel like she's a host because of that. She just didn't feel human.
see, now I don't even. I guess I feel like what makes you think she's probably more of a robot would be like her outfit and how, like you said, she approached him as William.
She had the look. She had the one color dress, whatever you want to call it, kind of like when he first entered the park. That female robot came up to him, kind of in the white dress, started talking to him. She was very formal, very robotic, and it just kind of felt like that vibe.
And when he shot her, if that's quote unquote the real one, she had that disc.
Yeah. She had it. I can't remember what he did with it.
I don't remember. Did he even get it?
He saw it because he gave it to his wife.
Yeah, you see it through his point of view.
Then his wife gave it to her before she died.
Yeah,
and then she showed it to him, and I thought he took it or destroyed it.
I was going to ask. I don't even remember what he did with it. Did he take it?
I don't know. I really don't. Because it wasn't too long after that he started poking around here, which is where, that's what hosts do.
Yeah.
And he remember, he hasn't found anything in there. Remember at the beginning of the episode, he was poking around, and Dolores finds him, and it doesn't look like he found anything. So I still think he's human right there.
And does it? I know this might be a lot. Technically, you know how that disc or whatever the card with all what he used to. How have they actually clarified how many years ago that was, or how many years it's been since his wife has been?
I mean,
well, didn't they
he's
say
roughly the same age when she killed herself because he's in Ed Harris mode.
So, but they did say that this whole season was what, a 2-week span or a week span?
About a week. From the end of season 1 to this, it was about
Bernard
a week.
Flashing back and forth from the week prior, right?
Yes, or years in advance. I'm referring to when Dolores made him.
Oh yeah. I mean, like when he wakes up.
Oh no. Yeah, that's within a week.
That's what it was, a week, right?
Yeah, because I remember season 1 started, and William was coming to the park because he had nothing else. His daughter didn't talk to him. His wife was dead, and then we find out his wife killed herself. Now we know why she killed herself. So It's not that long in between. It's not. I don't think it was that long ago. Maybe a year, maybe 2.
Yeah, I understand. I guess that's probably part of the story that'll end up being. You end up finding out actually how long ago this stuff was.
Yeah, but crazy second season. I think we're both in the same, and a lot of people are. I told you, I ran a poll after I watched the finale. I asked, does anyone actually understand what happened in this season of Westworld? And I responded with, if you say yes, I'm just going to assume you're lying.
You're lying, yeah.
75% said no. They don't know what's going on.
How much? What was the percentage?
75.
I should be. Yeah, that's still majority, but yeah,
25. I mean, it was only 16 votes, so that's what 12 out of 16.
Like you said, if you pretty much say you do know, I'm gonna assume you don't know. Yeah,
yeah, I'm gonna assume you're lying. They're hit the wrong button. I mean, I did that the other day. I saw a Twitter poll and hit the wrong button.
Yeah.
Crazy season.
Oh my gosh.
And I feel like we barely even scratched the surface. I feel like we're forgetting something huge. I should have written the talking points down.
You mentioned Ford being in the. You mentioned the Valley Beyond. You mentioned the Door. You mentioned William. You mentioned
Dolores becoming Charlotte Hale.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
Let's talk. So let's go ahead and go to that because the season ends with her creating Bernard again because he killed himself. Or no, she killed Bernard.
No. Yeah, she shot him.
Yeah. So that was another thing I heard was, remember, he shot her to prevent her from destroying the forge, and then when he created her again, realized he needed her, she shoots
shot
him
twice. She shot him at the end of season 1 and season 2.
I don't remember season 1. I'm talking about season 2. So now they're kind of even. She brings him back. I don't know really why. I guess just to be even.
Yeah.
But now I think that's what's going to lead to season 3 is them two butting heads, because you got Dolores on one side who wants to destroy humanity, and I feel like Bernard is more the host that wants to protect humanity.
Because he said, I'm not going to let you do it, and she said, we'll clash. I mean, she blatantly said that we'll end up getting into, you know what I mean, whoever's, you know what I mean.
But now we have two Doloreses, one in the park and the Charlotte Hale one.
But is the one in the park, well, like you said, it'll probably end up, the one in the
park.
Well,
she created herself again. So she was there at the very end when she was talking to Bernard. It was Charlotte Hale and Dolores. But obviously Dolores was in Charlotte Hale's mind.
It's something that I just thought of. I know this is probably on topic. At the very beginning of season 2, don't you see the host floating in water?
Yeah.
And I'm guessing, you know how they went into the door where is it the Valley Beyond?
That's where they are. That's where they are.
The river was, because once they stepped through there, their body fell when they did fall into the water, right? Mm-hmm. Okay,
so now
I was just wondering how they got there, and because that's where you see Teddy's body at the very beginning of 2, and you're just like, okay, I was just clarifying. Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how can he be in there and then his body? But I remembered he went through,
and their bodies.
Yeah, their bodies fall. That's right.
What? There's something else, like you said. I feel like there's something else that I'm forgetting, that we're forgetting too. So.
Oh, I know the other parks. We could talk about that.
Yeah, I was going to ask you because you mentioned something about what was the point in them showing the Native American. What was the point in them showing Shogun World?
I think they're just trying to show how vast Ford, was with this idea. It wasn't just Westworld. It was more. It was beyond that. You know what I mean? And I think we're going to see more of this. I saw someone point out there's a logo that keeps popping up this season, and it's 2 hexagons that are interlinked, kind of like this.
Yeah.
And he thinks that means the host their host consciousness and the like the human algorithm, the newcomers' algorithms that they're stealing from them while they're in the park, and how they're interlinked. Forever to the end of time. And then the hexagons, he thinks, represents, I'll draw it here in a second, represents the different parks. He thinks there's 6 different parks. Let me draw it. I need a piece of paper.
Okay.
Keep talking, whatever you want to talk about.
I was trying to think, there was something else I was going to bring up. And I thought I heard somebody mention something along the lines of, I don't know if it was where I was watching that theory about where they think that the next season would be a different, I don't know if they meant a different park as in it would be the same setting as Westworld, but I guess back to normal, or there's actually going to be, like I don't know if they said the writers or they were wanting ideas for a new park.
Yeah. No. That was like a fan account. I think I tweeted it.
Okay.
No. That was a fan account. They were saying, hey, this could be the possible future parks.
Yeah. But most people, like you said, I think from what I saw, they think that the park will be back to like it was in the very beginning of...
It will be. It just won't be robots on the loose. It will be eventually. They'll go back to that.
Yeah. It'll be... Yeah, it's so far. I'm going to see if I've seen this this sign that you were...
I'm about done with...
They think there's 5 different parks.
6.
So as of now, we've only seen 2, right?
We've seen 3.
So Shogun World, Westworld.
It's kind of like that.
I don't know if I've seen...
2 hexagons and they're interlinked.
where's it been at? Like, where have you seen it?
I'll send you the video. He had about 3 or 4 different screenshots.
Kind of like the R plus whatever equals J.
That
R
was
plus,
fake. That was fake.
Oh, that wasn't actually there.
No, that was fake. Come on.
Oh, but what's the other one? Westworld, Shogun.
Westworld, Shogun World, and The Raj. That's
Is that the city one?
No. That's where Emily. We originally see Emily, William's daughter. She goes to the Raj, and that was where she runs into the tiger, and the tiger tries to kill her.
I don't even remember.
That was the beginning of episode 3. Yeah. So that's 3 of the parks, and who knows about 3 more. And they keep saying the mainland. I feel like, are these parks on an island?
Well, they mentioned the mainland. You said, are you talking about the robots, or are you talking about
No, just in general. They keep mentioning the mainland. They're like, we need to go back to the mainland. So I'm like, Is this off the coast?
Yeah. Like, Dolores and them say that, don't they?
I don't know. Somebody.
Yeah, we need to go back to the mainland. You're exactly right.
You're lost. We're about to call it quits. I think your brain is fried.
I get some of the stuff that you said. Like I said, dude, anymore, I don't even know who's real and who isn't real. I think I got a little bit, but your theories you come with do make sense. When do you think 3 will come out? You think it'll be 2 years from now, 3 years?
No, I don't think it'll be. They already did the 1 year thing. I think HBO. I don't want to say won't let that happen again, but they'll be like, look, this is a popular show. It's making money. Critics love it. We need more of this ASAP.
Do you think? I did see it. Might have been because the BET Awards won, but I did see it was not trending on its season finale night.
Yeah, I'm actually looking at the viewership, and it wasn't that good. They started this season at 2.06 million viewers. Mm-hmm. Then that went to 1.85, 1.63, 1.59, 1.55, 1.11, 1.39, 1.44, 1.56, 1.56. So it steadily decreased, and then the last 4 episodes, it went back up. But it still didn't eclipse the season premiere. Probably because the show had been on for hadn't been on for 2 years, so people were excited.
I love the show. I mean,
I'll be totally honest. I'm close to giving up on it. If they keep this crap up where it's impossible to follow, I'm not sure I'm going to keep it up. I'm going to keep watching it.
Yeah, it's like I said, because I'm not even going to know what the heck's, because I'm having trouble right now, and I think I would say if you did a poll for most people, I'd say most people are probably pretty pissed off at that.
No, every one that I've talked to says they don't know what happened that season. One of my friends said he doesn't know what happened, and that's why it's such a great show. I'm like, no, that's not why it's such a great show.
No, I mean, like you said, there's a point in you don't want to know everything, but I mean, you got to have a balance. Like, there's a difference, like you said, between giving you a bone and then just freaking throwing you into a freaking maze where your people are just trying too hard to throw you off balance. You know what I mean? Like,
and then what's the maze? They keep mentioning the maze. That was all they talked about season 1. Then it went away, and then now it's like they forgot about it.
Yeah,
I want to say season 1 ended with them saying Dolores was the maze. I don't remember.
I'd have to go there, but they found it out, and then obviously you knew that the point in this one was the door, and good gosh, who knows what the third point will be? Probably the sky or something. Who knows?
It'll be interesting for sure. I think they'll be back next year. We'll know more. But
you think it'll be next July or what?
I think so. They had a year to kind of regroup. I feel like they should be gearing up for 3 more seasons at the least.
You're right. It's been done. Obviously, just because it just aired doesn't mean it was just finished. You're right. It's been done for a while.
Yeah, they finished filming.
Have they mentioned it as any of the characters? Because I know, like me and you, with most of the shows, I don't know if other people like this. Most of the shows are the movies that we like are the actors or actresses. We keep up with if they're filming or they're not filming.
I have not checked. I need to check. I mean, a guy like Ed Harris, he's too old to do anything now. He's likely not getting very many roles. So I'm going to assume he's staying on the show. He's an important character. Evan Rachel Wood is the most important character on the show.
Yeah. I didn't know if you'd seen anything about them filming.
No, I haven't honestly looked.
I haven't either.
But no, I was guarding that. I was watching that like a hawk between seasons 5 and 6 with our boy Kit Harington in regards to Game of Thrones.
Yeah, me and you were, dude. Yeah, we're all over that. I mean, I haven't been looking at theories or anything, but I've seen when people finish. I mean, like I said, me and you talked whenever we knew that Emilia Clarke was done, and we sent some tweets or whatever. Yeah, how sad that is. And then I've been.
Oh my God, I'm heartbroken.
On our boy Nikolai, aka Jamie.
Yeah, Nikolai's done. I mean, it's only a matter of time before Peter Dinklage is done and Kit Harington's done.
Yeah, and then, but for some reason, I feel like this show, it'll be over a year, but hopefully it isn't a year, like you said, because they should have been working on it.
No, I feel like when you take a year off, you're not just planning for the next season, you're planning for 5 seasons in advance. Except when you're Game of Thrones and it's the last season where you kind of need to take a year off just to make sure you end it on the right note.
We'll put it this way. I think that Dave and Dan, runners of Game of Thrones, said that they always knew the end game. Do you think that the writers now, at the point of now, actually, since they're going to be beginning on third, know the end game yet?
Yes.
You think so? I think that's
I've heard people say that the showrunners said before Westworld even premiered that this is only going to be about a 5-season show. They know. I think they know where they're going. They know their end game. Yeah.
So you think they know how it ends?
I think so, easily. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was.
I mean, I think every TV show. Maybe not everyone. I think all of them, though, for a general idea, have an idea about how they're going to end. I shouldn't say that. Maybe not. But
like sitcoms and stuff, maybe not. But like. You know what I mean? So you think that they have a clear idea on how they're ending it? Maybe they do.
Shows that are careful and well thought out, like Westworld and obviously Game of Thrones, because those are based on books. I feel like they do, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so season 2 wraps up. We got a lot of thoughts on it. Very confusing.
We'll keep talking. Me and you will definitely be texting about it. We'll be. I'm sure I'll shoot you a text about something.
Yeah. But yeah. Just wrapped up. Very confusing finale. Neither one of us really knew what was going on until we looked things up. And I have a clearer idea. You still seem pretty lost. And I'm not going to say I know it. I'm about maybe halfway there. Sunday night, I was maybe 10%.
You were out.
You kept talking to me, and I just wanted to hang up. I was like, I don't know what's going on. I don't like this.
If you haven't seen his response, just go watch his response. That'll tell you it all right there.
No,
and my text messages in all capital letters. I don't know what's going on, or I have no idea.
What did you send me to where I sent that?
Yeah, I don't know what I said to you, but you sent it to me, and all. It might have been today, or it might have been yesterday.
I think it was Sunday night.
Yeah.
Your recap is great, and I just said none of it makes sense.
Yeah, in all caps. So you sent that to me.
But yeah, so we're going to call it quits. We have talked about this about an hour, and I feel like we forgot something. I still feel like we forgot something major, but I feel like we still have most of the talking points down. We've discussed it. We've talked about next season, the future of the show. I mean, I don't know about you. You got anything else?
Unless you were, I was trying to think of, I think I asked my friend, what's the guy's name that's the head of security?
Stubbs.
I guess, I don't know if I was asking him what the next step is for them. I don't know if they're regrouping all that.
Well, there's a theory coming out that he's a host.
Oh, good.
Because of what he said to Charlotte Hale.
I was going to ask you, did he know that she was a host? Do you think he knew that?
No.
For some reason, I thought he was hinting, because, he was, looking at her in a weird way, I really shouldn't let you pass me on this boat, but I'm going to let you pass. So you don't think that he knew? I think I asked somebody else, and they didn't think he knew either.
I don't think he does. I just don't think he likes her. I think that's
Oh,
very obvious.
Yeah, he can't stand her. You're exactly right.
Yeah, there's a theory that he's a host. I don't think so. I think he's human. I think they're taking what he said at the end of Charlotte way too literally.
What did he say again?
I don't know. It was something like, I'm just going to do what Ford programmed me to do. I think that come on, that's just way too obvious. I just don't think it's that literal.
Yeah, it was. I don't know if you were planning. Was you maybe? I don't know if you were thinking something big that we missed. Was it the? I guess when they're out in the real world in that room where they have that robot creation thing.
Oh no, that's like Ford's. That's like Bernard's Haven. I think Ford made that for Bernard because that was Arnold's house.
Okay. So I say maybe we might think of something. I honestly, I don't know. Now you got me thinking old dude's a robot.
If we come up with something, we'll come out with a part 2.
Sounds good, Brody.
All right, so that's Westworld Season 2 recap. We'll see where this show goes from there. I know we will be in touch, Chaz.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, nice to talk about something other than sports for a change. I know, I'll tell you this, when Game of Thrones rolls around next year, this is going to be a weekly thing. We're going to have a weekly show. I guarantee it.
This will either be 10 o'clock on Sunday night.
Oh, absolutely. 100%. The only reason my co-host isn't on it is because he's not a huge Westworld fan. He loves Game of Thrones, though. And what an idea I had today was to have a different, guest every week. So 6 weeks, 6 episodes, and a new guest who watches Game of Thrones to come on the show and recap it with us. And then at the very end, when it's all said and done and the show's over, we're going to have a giant panel of like 10 people recapping.
Dude. April, June, or July, whenever, if it comes back out, it cannot get here soon enough.
I hope it's January 2019.
I would not have a problem with that.
I don't think it will, but I'm hoping early 2019, like February to April, somewhere in there. Please come back.
And I will definitely be making it up to Morgantown for the season premiere. Like we've seen, I think we've seen the past 2, or we've seen at least an episode each.
I don't think we did season 7. I think we tried, but it didn't work out.
That's horse piss. We'll do it this year, though.
Yeah, definitely.
Shoot, I might even be up every Sunday, dude. We're going to see. We're going to find something. Though. I can't wait for that.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so I'll let you go. I'll have this posted soon, but yeah, Westworld.
I'll retweet it and repost and all that stuff, and I got you.
All right, thank you. But yeah, Westworld, crazy second season. We will be back. Chaz, you'll be back on at some point, probably to talk
of course.
Basketball, your Lakers, if LeBron goes there.
Hopefully.
We'll see.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Probably
later.
Not. All right, brother. Take it easy, man. Thanks for having me.